anti-corruption drive. Remember that during the 2024 campaign, President Mahama rolled out a raft of anti-corruption measures. We all know that corruption has been on the ascendancy. We have seen state capture at levels that have never been seen in the history of our country. So there was a clarion call across the country that we need to stop the hemorrhage, we need to stop the looting, we need to stop the kakistocracy and kleptocracy that had really engulfed this country, the total wastage and hemorrhage that was going on. So let us situate this in proper context. Our team, the first team that has been set up, and remember it was set up during the transitional period when he was president-elect. So if you look at the statement which the president authorized to put out, our mandate at this point is simply to gather information. That's all we are doing. Okay. We are a receptacle. We are receiving evidence, information, data. And then when we have received that, we want to make sure our report is credible, is thorough. So you see us doing field assessments, carrying out validation to make sure that the reports that have come through, either through our toll-free numbers, through our websites, our email, or people coming to volunteer information, all of those reports, we make sure we verify them, they are well validated, and then it will be put together in a comprehensive, credible, impartial report, which will be presented to His Excellency the President. So this is phase one. What we are doing is just phase one, right? Gathering the evidence. So when, for example, I hear the minority today hold a press conference and say that they are asking their members not to respond to our invitation. Nobody is inviting anybody. We have not been inviting people. We are not investigating people. We are not summoning people. We have not hauled anybody to appear before us. We are gathering the evidence for phase one. When we present our report, then oral will move into the next gear, which is phase two. And that is where the president will then bring in the Attorney General, institutions like IOCO, OSP, CID, and others, and then the prosecutions, the retrievals, the recoveries, the surcharges, the disallowances. That's where we will move to the next phase. So it is important that we situate oral within the appropriate phases. We are just in phase one now, which is just evidence gathering, a receptacle for whistleblowers, members of the general public, within the spirit of Article 41F, which enjoins all of us as citizens that when we see wrongdoing, when we see wastage, we see dissipation of public property, we should report it as good citizens. That is all we are doing within this phase.
But let's stay with phase one. Are you getting the needed participation from Ghanaians in general, or it's mainly NDC members who are cooperating with you in terms of giving information?
To be very honest with you, the overwhelming endorsement of oral has been extremely impressive and absolutely incredible. We have support from a wide range of Ghanaians across the spectrum. This is not just an NDC or a partisan matter. Look, as Ghanaians, all of us must be concerned that, for example, $58 million, all we see is a pit, the world's most expensive pit. Where did that money go? We have to be concerned. Let's think about what $58 million can do for our country. Look at the public servants who are being chased out of their bungalows, civil servants, public servants. If we don't move in to protect and salvage what is left, I mean, just ask yourself, if the governments that came before us, since the Nkrumah time all the way to Rawlings, President Kufuor, if bungalows were being demolished, civil servants were being sacked, as we have seen now within this state capture period, what will have been left for the Akufo-Addo government? So this is a national campaign. All of us want to see a country that works for everybody. We are all appalled when we see that land in cantonments People are buying it for 160,000 cedis, 120,000 cedis, 180,000 cedis. Land that on the market, even if you have $700,000, $1 million, you will struggle to even get audience from a buyer. How is it that political appointees, politically exposed persons, are able to engage in these sweetheart transactions, paid a paltry, an insulting, and it's really just robbery, really robbery. Let's be honest. 160,000 for land in cantonments. How much is land in Northtown? With 160,000, you struggle to find land in Northtown. We are talking about prime Accra. So these are the issues. Nobody can deny the fact that over the last 8 years, we have witnessed state capture on a scale that is totally unconscionable, it's repugnant, it's appalling, and we want it stopped. That is why some of us have even moved a private member's bill in Parliament. And today I took steps to represent that. And in that private member's bill, we are calling the Protection of State Assets Bill. We are saying that we want a law in this country that will stop politicians, politically exposed persons, from acquiring state assets, whether they are lands, whether they are hotels, whether they are river bodies, whether they are forests. Don't forget that we've had a situation in recent times where a public officer dies, and in his will, our forests, our Ramsar sites are in his will, willed to a nephew forever. What is going on?
Well,
that is why we are saying that. That is why we are saying that this is crucial. This is about Ghana. It's not NDC, MPP. It's about the future. Would there be any future left? When we have sold all the lands, where will our public servants be? When we build hospitals, where will the doctors be? Doctors should have bungalows in good proximity to our hospitals, so that when there's an emergency, we are sacking all of them to faraway places. So this is a national call, issue, not partisan. And I can confirm to you that many Ghanaians see it as such, and we have received petitions, we've received evidence of looting from civil society organizations, from prominent Ghanaians, even from MPP members. You'll be surprised.
Interesting.
Leading members of the MPP.
So are you able to share some of these major cases that you've received with us?
So at this point, because we are still compiling all the cases, and we'll be presenting our report to His Excellency the President soon, I don't think it is appropriate to take the wind out of his sails. What I can tell you, avoiding specifics, is to say that so far, in terms of the petitions that have come in, is over 700.
Oh wow!
And it's been really onerous. It's such a daunting task, but there is the political will is there. We are all passionate about this, and what I like about what is going on is that we have the opportunity to show that the same passion that we exhibited in opposition, now that we are in government, we are committed to this. And what this does is that it serves as a deterrent. Those of us coming into government cannot be saying, all right, Operation Recover All Loot, and then we come and engage in the same things that Ghanaians are appalled and outraged about. So
very well.
Over 700 cases so far, but we are going through. We are doing the validation, we are doing the field visits, and making sure that the reports that will be presented to the president are really credible, and it's not about just people's imaginations, and we don't send the president and the new government on a wild goose chase.
Very well, Honorable. Please stay on for us. I'll come back to you shortly after this break. This is a Channel One newsroom. Right, so we still have the Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Abrakwa, who is chairperson of the Oral Committee, still with us. So we go over to him. Thank you very much for staying, Honorable. Now, some Ghanaians have expressed concern on the formation of the oral team. Now, they believe that, or they suggest or think that it is some level of time wasting, very unnecessary, because there are state institutions mandated to go into investigation to look at persons who stand at the wrong side of the law in what your mandate require you to do. I don't know what you make of this. Do you really have to go through this? If there are persons who find themselves at the wrong side of the law, why don't we allow state institutions go straight to it and set up an oral team? Why?
So let me state very clear without ambiguity that oral has not prevented any state institution from carrying out its work. Citizens of our country can still report to state institutions, file complaints, and state institutions will do their work. We have not crippled any state institution. All we are doing is gathering evidence. That's all. We are not arresting people. We have not engaged in Gestapo raids, entering people's homes. We have not done anything of the sort. It is also important to emphasize that as we speak, we have civil society organizations like GII, for example, who actively run programs, have toll-free numbers, who encourage citizens to report corruption, report evidence of looting, evidence of misuse of state resources, embezzlement, malfeasance, and what have you. They are not the police, they are not the IOCO or OSP or SHRAJ or the Attorney General's Department. So I am really at a loss as to what people's fears, what people's anxieties, what people's sleeplessness is all about. This is, if you like, a see something, say something vehicle. And for a government which not too long ago, when they were in power, before they lost the 2024 elections, encouraged citizens to see something and say something. And you recall that former President Akufo-Addo even said that he will promote the ANAS principle, where people will be embedded and people should go undercover and try to report wrongdoing, corruption, and all of that. Don't you see a clear inconsistency? I mean, Article 41F is very clear. As citizens, all of us should be committed to stopping the dissipation of resources, stopping malfeasance, stopping corruption, making sure that we have a society which is clean, an ecosystem which promotes transparency and accountability. So how can anybody say that this oral team, which says that those who are privy or have information or are whistleblowers, and you see in this country, read our Whistleblowers Act. The Whistleblowers Act is very clear that citizens should be proactive, should be conscientious. If you see wrongdoing, if you see any corruption, any wastage, report it. It even says that you can report to your MP. If you read the Whistleblowers Act, it says that you can report to your chief. It says that you can report to any elder in the society. So see the philosophy, see the principle. We are encouraging citizens to be motivated, to report, to bring to the attention of people either in high office or people who, because you see, it's not everybody who has the courage, who has the resources, the stamina to probably go to a police station or file a SHRAJ report, the technicalities involved. Even sometimes you need to hire a lawyer. It's not everybody who can do that. And yet they have vital information which will protect all of us. So for a long time as a country, from the 1992 Constitution to the Whistleblowers Act, we have been encouraging citizens. If you see something, say something. If you see wrongdoing, if you see corruption, if you see public property being looted, report it. Suddenly, a few Ghanaians, because they are really in the micro minority, are saying that this is something which is so wrong that we cannot live with, and this is detrimental to our progress. It's shocking. And you see, in all of these discussions, listen carefully. They have left the looters. They don't care about those who are demolishing bungalows, those who are taking our forests, those who have hijacked our river bodies and are doing galamsey. They don't seem to care about those who want to take all our Senate hotels. They don't seem to care about those who have diverted scarce resources. What they are concerned about is a few people, a team that is saying that we are just volunteers. We are grateful to His Excellency the President for reposing trust in us. We are not taking salaries. We don't take per diem. There is no remuneration whatsoever. This is purely sacrificial. And we are rather their target. We are those who have come under attack. The people who are taking our cantonments, public lands. And don't forget that under Article 257 of the 1992 Constitution, state lands, public lands, are for all of us. It is only vested in the president. So he takes care of these state lands on our behalf.
Right.
We haven't asked the president to go and share these lands with his cronies, with his cabinet colleagues, or his appointees. So it is really, really sad. It is so regrettable. It is so condemnable,
right,
that instead of supporting the people who are trying to stop the pillage, stop the plunder, they are spending all their energy, all their resources attacking us, so that those who are looting will have the free range, the total freedom to continue to loot at our detriment.
Honorable, you've mentioned
that is not patriotism. That is not nationalism.
You've mentioned the capture of state lands. Now, looking from afar, it appears that is a major area that you are looking at. Are there other areas that you are also interested in looking at beyond capture of state lands?
Yes. So beyond state lands, we are also interested in our forests. We've noticed that a number of our forest covers are gone. We are interested in that. We are also interested in our parks and gardens. There was an attempt not too long ago to sell off parks and gardens in Accra to some so-called private developer. Then in Wa, that sale has actually been done, which we are fighting. And remember, in Parliament, I summoned the local government minister who said that he did not authorize the sale of parks and gardens. Parks and gardens is under the Ministry of Local Government, and yet another ministry, the Lands Ministry, purports to have sold it to somebody who is building a filling station in Wa. We are interested in things like that. We want to take it back. Look, this is a country that already, when families want to go on a walk, they struggle. All of us, when we want to go for a walk, I mean, where is flora and fauna? Where is greenery? I mean, and we are talking about the environment. These are survival issues. So we are interested in parks and gardens. We are interested in the Ramsar sites. Our Ramsar sites have also been hijacked by unscrupulous elements in our society who have paid next to nothing, and they should not even have been put on sale. Some have just annexed it. They have just, encroached. Then we are also interested in our river bodies.
Right.
Do you know that there are some companies, some individuals who have just, taken over a whole river, blocked it, and they are engaged in illegal mining. We are also interested in that. So our report will be very, very comprehensive.
Right.
And so these are all everywhere that there has been looting, that there has been dissipation of national resources. We are interested in reporting that, making sure that our report captures all of those things so that the president will know how to act immediately, because he has a mandate, a social contract with the Ghanaian people. The Ghanaian people expect him to recover this loot.
Right.
And we cannot afford to fail the president or fail the Ghanaian people.
Right. Now, at the beginning of our conversation, you mentioned that your work is in two phases. That is